Hi everyone, my name is Deanne Bryce and I'm very excited to share with you a series of yoga classes that I'm calling Yoga Pants and Plants, 30 Days of Compassionate Yoga. It's based on the principles of Soma Yoga, and you'll learn more about that throughout the 30 days. Some things to keep in mind for doing yoga at home is it's a perfect way to do yoga because you don't have to worry about what you look like. You just come to the mat, you turn on the video, you start to enjoy. You can always pause the video if you've needed, and as long as you spend time every day on the mat, you're going to make progress. You're going to see significant progress. And I look forward to being a part of that on this little journey that you'll be taking. So doing yoga at home is a little bit different because when you go to a yoga studio, they have props for you. And at home, you have to gather up what you have. So we're going to use a chair. Now, a mat is something that you probably do want to buy, but if you don't have a mat, you can just find a rug or something that you can put out. A lot of people don't have yoga blocks at home, so you can use reusable water bottles. It's just something to bring the ground closer to you, so when you're learning to bend over, you don't have to go as far to the ground. The chair works that way too. We also want to provide some weight, and in a yoga class, sometimes they use sandbags, and we don't have sandbags, so we're going to use these bean bags. Just bags that you get full of beans or rice. And then this is a prop that's definitely optional. It's a little bit of a weight to cover your eyes. So when you're doing Savasana, it's providing a little bit of weight. And then a blanket. And this blanket needs to be pretty thin so you can fold it. Today's class is day 1, called Awareness. So let's get started. Yoga Pants and Plants. 30 Days of Compassionate Yoga is an invitation to journey toward being in the present moment, an opportunity to emulate the way nature lives in the moment. Be like a plant. Don't worry how you look. Notice how you sense and respond, like the way a tree reaches for the sun or a source of water. Nourish yourself with movement and stillness. Allow compassion to flourish for a little bit of time every day. Day 1, Awakening. Today you will begin to discover your very center, the part of you that shines with compassion. Yoga philosophy teaches us that compassion shines through the bliss layer of our body. We will learn more about the 5 layers or koshas of the body as we progress through the course. For now, know that you already have a strong, compassionate center. You will look for your breath as it is and learn a new practice to increase awareness of mobility in your body. You can explore stabilization from that mobility and how to incorporate mobility and stabilization in a standing practice. The practice will end with blissful, compassionate silence. I invite you to find yourself laying on your yoga mat in a comfortable position with your eyes holding a soft focus or closed. Your mind has the power to reflect and to be still. At this moment, invite your mind to remember a time in your life when you awakened to the idea of compassion. The following questions are here to help you remember. There is no need to share this memory with anyone. It is your memory, and your mind will allow you to remember exactly what is right for you in this moment. Picture in your mind the place your body was in that moment of recognizing compassion. What did you feel? What place in your body did you feel that compassion? Now bring your mind into this moment, the present moment. Gently place your hands on your trunk, one hand near the belly button and the other near the heart. As you breathe, try to find the breath. Feel free to move the hands around, looking for the strongest movement. Can you feel the breath move in your chest? How about your shoulders? Or perhaps your belly, in your hips, in your sides? Now purposefully guide your breath toward the belly button. That means on the next inhale, notice the belly button rise. Breathe in with the belly rise. Release your breath and allow your belly to float back toward the spine. Breathe in with the belly rise. Release your breath and allow your belly to float back toward the spine. Breathe in with a belly rise. Release your breath and allow your belly to float back toward the spine. Now completely relax your breathing and breathe just the way you do without thinking about it. Place your feet flat on the floor with your knees bent. This is called an effortless rest position. This is a chance to experiment with the mobility of the spine. Play with the movement. Place your hands on your 2 hip bones and gently drop your back down to the mat so it is flat. Gently release back to the neutral position of your hips and spine. When you are laying on your back, there is a natural small arch in the back. What you are doing as you try this again is using the mobility of your spine to move in a particular direction. Gently drop your back down to the mat so it is flat. Gently release back to the neutral position of your hips and spine. You purposefully flattened the spine. Now, from the neutral position, gently increase the natural arch in the back, just enough to notice. Then return the arch to that neutral position. Moving the spine in this position is called arch. Gently increase the natural arch in the back, just enough to notice. Then return the arch to the neutral position. In order to add a touch of stability, press your feet into the ground just enough to slide a piece of paper under your bottom. Relax your legs and ask yourself, how do my hips feel now? This has been the basic arch and flatten exercise. It is the foundation of many other soma practices from which to build. Now gently roll your body to one side and take time coming to a standing position. Move through a tabletop position where you have your knees and your hands directly below you and your back and front are parallel to the mat. In that position, you can move to an arch back. In other words, your belly is dropping toward the ground and back to neutral. This is also called the cow position. Once again, you drop your belly toward the ground and arch your back, and then back to neutral. And then you would move your spine in the opposite direction, where you would lift it up toward the ceiling as if it's flattening, and the muscles in the front are tightening. And then release to a neutral position. Once again, you lift your spine toward the ceiling, having a contraction in the front, and then return to neutral. And once again, lifting your spine toward the ceiling, noticing the contraction in the front, and then return to neutral. That is called the cat position. So you can try those two together, cat and cow, at your own pace. And when you are ready, you can come to a standing position. From the standing position, place your hands on your hip bones and then slide those hands lower toward the hip creases. Dangle each leg from the hip and place your foot on the ground in a normal position. Do that on each leg. Look at your feet. They may or may not be facing forward, and it is okay, just notice where they are today. This is the beginning of the classic posture called mountain. Ask yourself, do I feel stable? Ask yourself, do I feel strength in this pose? There is no need to move or judge, just notice with compassion toward yourself. So we're going to do a fold forward, and you may decide to have a chair in front of you so you can fold into the chair, or if you would like, you could have a yoga block. So when you reach toward the floor, you can put your hands on the block if you don't think your hands can reach the floor. We're going to break down a forward fold into two components. The first component this is actually a preparation for the first movement, is just lift your legs one at a time so you can see where that hip crease is, where the movement actually happens. And then go ahead and set your feet back on the ground. And then keeping your hands on that hip crease, bend forward as if you are keeping your torso parallel to the floor. And then lift up again. And try that again. Bend forward just to the point of your torso being parallel with the ground. And then return to the mountain position. And then bend forward again. The second part of this forward fold is where you release your hands from your hip creases and you allow the spine to release all the way down toward the ground, putting your hands either on your legs, on the floor, on a block, or on a chair. And then using the large muscles in your thighs, return back to the torso being parallel with the floor, and then all the way up to mountain. So try that forward fold position again at your own pace. We're coming to the end of our 15-minute practice for day 1. So from this standing position, you can return to the mat, laying on your back. It is time for a relaxation pose. Feel free to bring a blanket to cover your body or your eyes, and take a few moments that may seem necessary before being still. Using your mind again, recall the determination you felt when you first decided to move toward a compassionate lifestyle. Ignore any thoughts that pop up that judge you. There is a concept taught in yoga philosophy called Ahimsa. It's translated from Sanskrit to English as non-violence. Every time you notice a judgment toward yourself, remember that judgment is a form of violence that keeps you from that place of shining with full compassion. Rest in non-violence toward yourself and all other beings. There will be a few moments of mindful music, and then I will end your session for today. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll to one side. Push yourself into a seated position with your eyes closed and your hands in prayer position. As you move through your day-to-day, smile and think about your compassion. It is at any given moment available for yourself and all individuals in the greater world. Namaste. Now, as you rise from your mat, don't forget to eat more plants. You will feel and move better. Follow us for tips at flowingyan.com.